What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rico No Suave, and things tend to brew when things tend to happen in a good way. So, because I've had a pleasure to interview this gentleman at the Chandler International Film Festival, and big shout out to the staff and everybody there. But this one gentleman stood out all day, every day. And my man, I caught up with my man Phillip Bruenn. How you doing, man?
Good, Rico, man. It's good to see you, bud.
Man, hey, I'm in LA now.
Yeah, bud.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And let everybody know where we at.
So we're taking a little break over here at the West Hollywood Edition, and we're hanging out in the Ardor Restaurants, this nice little farm-to-table Tulum vibe spot.
Let's go. And you know about Tulum, right? My people from Mexico, there's that Aztec piece of it, but we had to come down where nature tells us to go, right? And that's where we're at right now. So, Phillip, let's get it on, man, because there's so many things that you have actually accomplished. There's so many things that you're actually working on as far as projects, and I'm so glad that I'm able to catch up with you, right? So let's talk about some of the things that you're working on right now, and let's talk about that LA lifestyle. Let's go.
All right, well, so what are we working on right now? It's actually been a pretty crazy couple of weeks. We're working out some deals, possibly selling the Dr. Quarantine project where we first met. We were chatting about the Tara Reid project the isolation piece. So we're in talks for selling that project. We're in post right now for this, I would call it a comedic horror kind of film.
Okay.
So that one's going to be a little fun piece. We're working out our VFX on that, so hopefully we'll be ready to sell that project in the next maybe 3-4 months. And then we're prepping out a really big feature right now. I'm working with a team that is getting ready to do a really cool action adventure piece. It's going to be a father and son on the run, avoiding lots of dangers, I think is the best way to put it. But it's like an anti-hero piece that's going to be our lead character. He's on his journey of kind of breaking away from the norms and expectations for this son that he didn't know he had and trying to protect him. And so it's a really good piece.
Wow.
It's going to be a good piece.
Okay. Yeah, and definitely that's something I think my audience wants to make sure that they look out for as well, too. So, being from one to another, because this is creativity, right? So there's things that you have to step back and say, man, I got this one, Dr. Quarantine, and then I got another project that has a different type of mood, right? How do you maintain knowing how to keep yourself on track with those projects?
Man, it really comes down to putting the right people around you.
Okay.
A lot of that comes down to your production management, that comes down to your timeline schedules, and having people that you surround yourself with that have better, more equivalent knowledge to you to help put together your timelines for each project. Everything has to get done in certain dates based upon what level of production you're in, if you're in development, if you're in principal, if you're in post. And so having some guys around me that are helping put this together has helped us really kind of flip-flop back and forth depending on what our priorities are for each different project and when we want to get things completed. So a lot of operations there.
Yeah.
Less on the creativity, more on the operations, sort of shuffling around, and then outside of that, trying to work on other productions outside of even just filmmaking.
Sure.
We were talking a little bit earlier as far as working with a production team that puts events on, and we're getting ready to do racing events and producing this. And for that, it's intermixing between different companies and making sure that you have the bandwidth to kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, that also throws another, I wouldn't say a complex level, but another exciting project to come out, because when we're talking about entertainment piece versus behind the scenes of producing and directing, we kind of talk about, hey, that entertainment piece is kind of fun because that's something that you want to do, but can be stressful too, right? Because you want to make sure that goes well in order to have fun, right?
If you don't want to be stressed, don't get into filmmaking. It's fun when it's done,
Right.
At that point, and it's not like you're on a 9-to-5, but if you don't want to be stressed, don't do filmmaking.
As far as being at the Edition Hotel here, it's a beautiful place, and thank you for the tour, man, because going around and seeing the different pieces and how everything kind of works together. And guys, you have to make sure you go and take a look at the rooftop. The rooftop is the bomb, and hopefully I'm gonna show you guys a clip of that as well.
One of the best rooftops in Los Angeles.
Man, hands down.
Yeah.
When I went up there, I felt like $1,000,000. I'm not gonna lie, but I know I don't have that, but it's just more of just feeling that way. That makes you feel really good. But it also gives you that comfort level as well too. As far as you helping this hotel, as far as the operation piece, how do you not become a fan of being here?
And I am a fan of being here. I love bringing people out here. It's a great venue. They've got a
Yeah.
movie theater here if you want to do movie releases. They've got an event space in the downstairs that has a lounge nightclub feel.
Yeah.
Everything from Hulu coming in to do events here to
Wow.
Netflix doing releases here to you got the movie theater. You've got a wonderful restaurant. It's really a great centerpiece in like the West Hollywood area.
Yeah, yeah. You got if you have time, hopefully I'll be able to see what the nightlife is as far as
Yeah.
the club piece. I would love to see that because, the bartender, forgot his name, but the bartender, he was saying that there is disco balls.
Yeah.
300?
Yeah.
What?
The entire rooftop is all disco balls. The whole setup is one of the guys or the main guy who started the hotel, was a part of from my understanding, the Studio 54 New York lifestyle, and
That's where it
so
goes wrong,
when he
yeah.
put together and designed the hotel out, and you've got this nightclub, you've got that kind of old disco vibe, all the disco balls everywhere and the lights hitting off of that, and they do a lot of like discotheque dance music to kind of incorporate that little nostalgia.
Yeah. Anybody come in with butterfly collars or any old school boots, like the stacks?
Man, I see different things here. There was an event here that I came to that was, they were doing a thing for Beyonce, and everybody was doing the cowboy things with the crazy collar.
All right, last question, because I know, we only got a certain amount of fame around here, right? So when it comes to the projects that you actually have coming up,
Yeah.
right? And then you also have the operations that you actually have going here. Let's talk about the screening piece. Because there's screening as far as when you're finishing a project, then there's the screening aspects of things. How do you, as from an operations standpoint, how does the screening work for you guys when you actually are finishing a product? How does that come into play?
As far as, are you talking about like test screening before you try to release something?
Yeah.
Or are you thinking about like film festival screenings? Which aspect?
Oh man, yeah, let's do both. So let's talk about the test screening. The test screening piece, because not a lot of people really understand that piece, right? With the test screening, because you guys are the ones, the masterminds behind it. Say, what does this look like, and how is it going to look like coming out, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, and then let's talk about the festivals too.
Yeah, I mean, well, with test screening, it's anything. Films at the end of the day, it's a product.
Yeah.
It's there for entertainment, but it is a product, and you always want your product to do well.
Yes.
And so you sometimes before a film is completely what's called picture locked, where they finish off all your visual effects, your special effects. Maybe they haven't finished music or haven't finished all of the sound correction. They may show it to test audiences to get the feedback, like, hey, do your audience members, do they connect? Because they'll give you a questionnaire basically, and
Yeah.
it says like, what did you like? What did you not like? Who were some of your favorite people in the project? And that really depends on the budget and scope of the project overall.
Sure.
And so they really try to hone in on, is there anything that needs to be adjusted, or what do they think might sell better depending on like who's putting the movie out there and how much is at stake overall. So it's at the end of the day test screenings.
I
And
see.
you take that feedback, and it might be an edit that might change, or you might have what's called a pickup day, and you shoot some additional content to add in to flush out what's going on in a scene, or give a little bit better character understanding if they have the time and the budget to do that ultimately.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then, I mean, your screenings at film festivals, there's a lot of different stuff that goes on with that. And at least with my experience, it's, you're either wanting to really present something out there and build a following to it, and if it's maybe an independent type project, or you're trying to put it in and garner attention for it so that you can ultimately sell it later on, because you have a better value if you have different awards. If you've got an audience award from Sundance, then people are going to love this project, so that increases the value before you maybe sell it. So there's
Yeah.
different ways you work with film festivals, and ultimately, you really want to get nuanced projects out there, and you want to get some type of backing to it. If that's anything from, like we talked about with Paper Flowers, running the circuit there, and you have an amazing amount of people that are loving the project, and then you've got internet buzz, and then that helps you work, okay, well, how many screens are we going to put this in? How much do people already know about it, and how does that coincide with whatever your marketing budget might be, or your advertising budget, to really try to get the product out?
Yeah, that's dope, man, because I really like the whole aspect of making sure that the product comes out right, especially, sometimes people just have a certain amount of people to test, screen certain movies, but you're letting the audience choose and say approved by 100 people, right? Before they say, hey, we just want to let y'all know this is approved already, right? So you can't come back.
Feedback. We got good feedback here, so let's put it out there. Exactly. And you see, we live in an age where there's so much content that's out there, and there's a lot of different ways to put out content. It's some aspects is harder. In other aspects, it's easier. You have the ability you can put something out independently on YouTube. You can put something out independently on streaming video on demand.
Yeah.
You can try to sell a project and put it out there with streaming services.
Yeah.
Or if you can negotiate and work out, depending on the scope and how good the project is, work out an independent theater release based upon a lot of this.
Yeah. Content, man, because, that's another subject to really talk about from a long-term standpoint, because there's so much content that we used to get and I was just speaking with a young lady about, she said that she was in a bad horror film. And like bad horror films to us is like, oh my God, what type of acting is this? Or what type of visual effects are these? It's like coming like sci-fi, that throws in those like cheap visual effects. But at the same time, too, people like that, right?
I know what you're talking about. Some people love the campy stuff, and even if it's not your thing, doesn't mean other people aren't gonna like it.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what she said. She said exactly. I had a lot of people that love that type of film, and I'm like,
cult classics,
right?
Cult classics.
Cult classics.
Yeah.
I like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. We call it cheesy, right? It ain't easy being cheesy, and I'm like, listen, let's go. Yeah. I'm okay with looking at a cheesy movie sometimes, but, from the norm, right? Because, of course, budgeting is involved, right? And if it comes out and everybody say, hey, this is just a way of us to be able to practice to get better, do what you got to do, and I think I really love that. Man, Phillip, hey, it was good catching up with you, man. Hey, always, man.
Happy to see you out here in LA.
Oh man, hey, bro. Every time I tell you, we brewing around here, man.
Make it happen. We're brewing up some creativity out here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, man. Hey, and I'm just so happy that I'm able to get involved with you, knowing that I catch up with you. Just so you guys know how hard it is to catch up with this guy. He is either traveling or he's working on big projects, but I'm glad that I'm able to get in contact with him for him to be able to do this clip as far as with me, man. And it means a lot to me as far as with the Regional Suave show. And, you're always family, bro. You family. Ever since Arizona, man. Ever since Arizona, I told you, I said, man, hey, we're going to keep brewing, man, and we're going to keep making things happen. So just so you guys know, that's Phillip Bruenn. That's what it is, with two N's, baby. You know what I mean? So everybody want to thank you guys so much. Hey, Phillip, thanks so much for taking the time. Your boy, Regional Suave show. We'll see you guys later.